Chapter 1. A Year in Shadows. As I made my way through the desolate streets, the remnants of a once thriving city, the haunting stillness weighed heavily upon my shoulders. The city had transformed into a wasteland, a haunting reflection of the world that once was. Buildings that had once stood tall and proud now leaned precariously, their broken windows gaping like empty eye sockets. Nature, unchecked by human hands, had taken hold, reclaiming its territory. Vines twisted around lampposts, ivy crept up the sides of buildings, and weeds sprouted defiantly through cracks in the pavement. The air was heavy with a suffocating silence, occasionally broken by the creaking of rusted metal or the distant howl of the wind. The streets, once bustling with life, were now empty and forlorn. Abandoned cars sat motionless, their tires deflated and their windows shattered. The remnants of humanity's existence were scattered everywhere, discarded belongings, shattered glass, and remnants of makeshift shelters. As I walked, I couldn't help but notice the absence of color. The world had lost its vibrancy, its essence drained away. The once bright graffiti that adorned the walls had faded, its messages of hope and rebellion now a mere whisper of the past. The only colors that remained were the faded hues of decay and despair. The city's transformation was not limited to the physical. There was a palpable change in the atmosphere, a heaviness that hung in the air. The infected, those unfortunate souls who had succumbed to the virus, lurked in the shadows, their raspy moans punctuating the silence. They moved with an eerie slowness, their bodies contorted and emaciated, driven solely by an insatiable hunger. Their eyes, once vibrant and alive, were clouded with a haunting emptiness. Survivors like us were few and far between, scattered remnants of a fractured society. Each day was a battle for survival, an unyielding struggle against both the infected and the cruel realities of this new world. We scoured the ruins for supplies, canned food, clean water, and medical necessities. We moved silently, our senses heightened, ever vigilant for signs of danger. Occasionally we encountered other survivors, a rare and unpredictable occurrence. Some were welcoming, their faces etched with the weariness of survival. Others, driven to desperation, resorted to violence, seeing in us a threat to their own meager existence. Trust became a commodity that was traded carefully, earned through shared experiences and acts of kindness. The bonds we formed, however fleeting, provided a sense of hope amidst the desolation. The passage of time was marked not by the ticking of a clock, but by the gradual deterioration of the city and the changing seasons. The scorching heat of summer gave way to the bitter chill of winter, each season presenting its own challenges to survival. We sought shelter in the skeletal remains of buildings, huddling together for warmth, our breaths forming puffs of vapor in the frigid air. But amidst the bleakness, moments of beauty still shimmered like delicate mirages. The setting sun, casting its golden hues over the crumbling landscape, painted the sky in a riot of colors. The moon, when it emerged from behind the dark clouds, provided a feeble glimmer of hope, casting its ethereal light on our weary faces. As I traversed the broken streets, my footsteps echoing through the desolation, I couldn't help but wonder how this world had come to be. What had caused the virus to spread so rapidly, consuming everything in its path? Was there any hope for a cure, for a restoration of the world we had lost? The questions haunted me, driving my relentless search for answers and my unwavering determination to protect those I cared for. Alongside me were Mia, Jackson, Sarah, and Marcus, fellow survivors who had become my family in this forsaken world. Mia, with her intelligence and compassion, was like a guiding light in the darkness, a reminder of the humanity we were fighting to preserve. Jackson, a stalwart protector, brought a sense of security to our group, his military training an invaluable asset in our daily struggle. Sarah, with her unwavering kindness, offered solace and healing to us all, her presence a balm for our battered souls. And Marcus, the enigmatic figure with hidden depths, intrigued and unsettled me, his motives and past shrouded in mystery. We moved together, a band of misfits bound by a shared purpose, to survive, to find solace, and to uncover the truth. The weight of our experiences, our losses, and our hopes forged a connection that surpassed mere companionship. We relied on each other, drawing strength from the bonds we had formed amidst the ruins. As we navigated the decaying streets, my thoughts turned to the rumors we had heard, whispers of a safe haven where survivors had gathered. It was our next destination, a potential sanctuary, and a potential source of information about my missing brother, Ethan. We quickened our pace, fueled by the hope that awaited us within those fortified walls. Little did we know that the safe haven held its own secrets and challenges. The world outside the safe haven may have been ravaged, but within its walls, a new set of struggles awaited us. We were greeted by a stern-faced woman named Victoria Kane, the leader of the safe haven. Her calculating eyes swept over us, assessing our worthiness to enter. "Survivors are welcome," Victoria's voice rang out, lacking warmth. "But know this, you must abide by our rules if you wish to stay." As we entered the safe haven, a mixture of relief and trepidation washed over me. The once bustling streets were replaced by a semblance of order, with survivors going about their daily tasks, their weariness etched on their faces. It was there, within the safe haven, that we encountered a group of survivors who had aligned themselves with Victoria Kane's rule. Lawrence, a tall and imposing man with a hardened gaze, approached us with an air of authority. "You newcomers better fall in line," Lawrence barked, his voice dripping with contempt. "The rules here are not to be taken lightly. Victoria's word is law." Jackson, never one to back down, squared his shoulders and met Lawrence's gaze with an unwavering determination. "We'll follow the rules, but only if they're fair and just," he retorted, his voice steady and resolute. Lawrence sneered, his lip curling with disdain. "Fair and just? Who decides what's fair and just in this new world? We survive by any means necessary. That's the only rule that matters." Marcus, usually silent and observant, stepped forward, his voice low but filled with an undeniable intensity. "There's more to survival than mere survival itself," he stated, his eyes locked with Lawrence's. "We should strive for something better, something that maintains our humanity." Lawrence scoffed, his tone dripping with sarcasm. "Humanity? What does that even mean now? It's every person for themselves out here." Mia, always the voice of reason, interjected, her tone measured and calm. "We've seen both the best and the worst in people. The true test of our humanity lies in how we treat others, how we strive to build a community based on trust and compassion." Sarah, with her gentle nature and empathetic soul, spoke up, her voice carrying a tinge of sadness. "We've lost so much already. We can't let the darkness consume us completely. We have to find a way to rebuild, to hold on to hope." Victoria Kane, who had been observing our exchange from a distance, approached us with a steely gaze and a tight-lipped smile. "I see you newcomers have quite the spirit," she remarked, her voice laced with a mix of curiosity and calculation. "But remember, it's my leadership that has kept this safe haven standing. My rules maintain order and ensure our survival." Jackson's jaw clenched, his voice tinged with defiance. "We don't doubt the challenges you've faced, but we need to know that there's more to this place than just surviving. We need to know there's hope for a better future." Victoria's smile widened, a hint of amusement flickering in her eyes. "Hope is a fragile thing, my dear. But if you prove yourselves useful, perhaps you'll find the answers you seek." Our conversation with Victoria left us with more questions than answers. It became clear that within the safe haven, loyalty to Victoria's rule was paramount, even if it meant sacrificing individual freedoms and questioning the true nature of this sanctuary. As we settled into our assigned quarters, the safe haven buzzed with activity, conversations echoing through the halls. Whispers of dissent and murmurs of discontent could be heard, indicating that not all survivors were content with Victoria's leadership. It was in these hushed conversations that we found like-minded individuals, survivors who longed for change, who yearned for a community built on trust and collaboration. Late into the night, as we gathered in a secluded corner of the safe haven, our voices hushed to avoid detection, we discussed our next steps. We knew that if we wanted to uncover the truth and challenge the status quo, we had to gather evidence, rally support, and form alliances within the safe haven. Mia, her eyes shining with determination, spoke first. "We need to gain the trust of those who share our doubts, those who are willing to challenge Victoria's rule. We must gather evidence of the hidden cages and the questionable practices." Sarah, her voice filled with a quiet resolve, added, "We also need to reach out to the survivors who have kept their heads down, those who fear speaking out against the current regime. Together, we can empower them to raise their voices and demand change." Jackson, his gaze steely, nodded in agreement. "We must tread carefully. Victoria's loyalists are vigilant, and any sign of dissent could be met with swift consequences. But we can't let fear paralyze us. We must forge alliances and create a movement for a fair and just safe haven. Marcus, the enigma of our group, his eyes gleaming with a mix of caution and intrigue, spoke with an air of mystery. There are those who hold valuable information, secrets that could unravel Victoria's hold on this place. We need to find them, gain their trust, and extract the truth. With our plans set, we dispersed into the depths of the safe haven, each of us assuming our roles in this dangerous dance of deception and rebellion. The weight of our mission settled heavily upon our shoulders, but the fire within us burned bright. We were determined to expose the truth, to challenge the oppressive regime, and to bring about a new era of hope and justice within the safe haven. Days turned into weeks, and we cautiously made progress, gathering allies and pieces of evidence that hinted at the dark underbelly of the safe haven. Whispers grew louder, discontent swirled through the air, and the fabric of Victoria's rule began to unravel. But as our resolve strengthened, a chilling event unfolded. The infected who had been confined within their cages managed to break free. Chaos erupted within the safe haven as their frenzied screams filled the air. Panic and fear gripped the survivors, who scrambled to find safety amidst the pandemonium. Amidst the mayhem, we found ourselves trapped, surrounded by the ravenous infected. Their twisted bodies lurched toward us, their primal hunger driving them forward. We were cornered, our backs against a wall with no way out. The infected closed in, their putrid breath washing over us, their gnarled hands reaching out. It seemed like our journey, our fight for justice, would meet a grisly end within the supposed sanctuary of the safe haven. With sweat dripping down my brow and my heart pounding in my chest, I locked eyes with my companions, sharing a mixture of terror and determination. We had come so far, fought so hard. We couldn't let it all end here. As the infected lunged forward, teeth gnashing and clawed hands grasping for us, a thunderous explosion erupted from the other end of the safe haven. The sound reverberated through the air, momentarily distracting the infected. A figure emerged from the smoke and chaos, wielding a weapon with deadly precision. It was Lawrence, the loyalist enforcer of Victoria's rule, who had taken it upon himself to capture and contain the infected. But now, faced with the unleashed horde, he had become an unwitting savior, diverting their attention away from us. In that brief moment of respite, our group seized the opportunity to scramble away from the encroaching danger. We ran through the twisted corridors of the safe haven, our hearts pounding in our chests, searching for an escape route. With each turn, the wails of the infected echoed behind us, a chilling reminder of the imminent threat. We raced against time, desperately seeking a way out of the collapsing safe haven, knowing that our survival depended on our ability to outmaneuver the relentless horde. As we sprinted through the crumbling halls, a distant glimmer of daylight caught my eye. A faint sense of hope ignited within me as I realized that the path to freedom lay just beyond a shattered door. But as we reached the threshold, the ground shook beneath our feet, and a deafening roar filled the air. The infected, relentless in their pursuit, had breached the safe haven's defenses, pouring into the corridor like a tide of madness. With no time to spare, we faced a harrowing choice: stay and face the infected, or leap into the unknown, risking the perils of the outside world once more. Sweat trickled down my face as I exchanged glances with my companions, their eyes mirroring my own fear and determination. Taking a deep breath, I made my decision. "We have to jump!" I shouted above the chaos, my voice filled with a mix of desperation and resolve. "It's our only chance." Without hesitation, we braced ourselves, closed our eyes, and leaped into the unknown abyss, leaving behind the crumbling safe haven and plunging into the uncertain future that awaited us.